So I wrote myself some notes to help me through this, and the first one of them is this. We'll come back to that in a minute. So I'm supposed to say my name. My name is Pete White, sometimes known as Positive Pete, but by my team I'm known as that old bastard, which is, doing something about the fact they've recognised at least I'm old, which is nice. The organisation I started and represent is Positive Prison, Positive Futures. We're an organisation made up almost entirely of people who've been through the criminal justice system one way or another. And what we seek to do is to help people who are in the system or have been through it to get on with their lives and not go back. So our technical description of our vision statement, I'm dead chuffed about the fact that I have a vision statement. It's all of 8 words. Our vision is the recognition of people with convictions as citizens. And that's an important thing for us to do. We started up by accident. We've carried on by improvising and by definitely not doing what we're supposed to be doing. And some of the things that we do are things that are not based on delivering any kind of a service. In terms of criminal justice in Scotland, there are currently over 1,300 projects relating to people in prison or affected by imprisonment. We don't need another one. There are a few hundred organisations delivering those services, and it's important for me that the people for whom those services are provided are services that fit with the needs and aspirations and dreams of the people who otherwise haven't been given a chance to realise they're allowed to have dreams. And it's very important that we do that. So just about the time that we became a member here, we'd just become a charity 4 years ago. There are a number of things that we were not. We were not recognised by the Scottish Government as key stakeholders in matters relating to justice. We were not called to give evidence to the Justice Committee of the Scottish Parliament. We weren't allowed to meet Scottish ministers and cabinet secretaries. We weren't asked to work with the police to act as adult role models. We weren't involved in the delivery of awareness-raising training to members of the judiciary or Scottish Prison Service staff. We weren't contributors to the redesign of community justice in Scotland. We weren't working with banks to make it possible for prisoners to open bank accounts before they leave prison. We weren't invited to work with the Department of Stealth and Department of Work and Pensions
I think that's the best renaming I've heard for a while.
to improve the benefits process for people on release from imprisonment. We weren't permitted to be released 1 or 2 days early if this would improve our prospects for rehabilitation. And we weren't seen as people with convictions, but were identified as ex-prisoners and ex-offenders. Now, all of these things have been changed, which is good. So, some of these things have come about through the support of people I've met in the melting pot. I came here first thinking it was a bit weird and wonky, and I was surprised I couldn't find a place where people were smoking hash, because it had that kind of a reputation, but it's the way it goes. One of the other things I have to point out is that I was actually here in this building over 40 years ago, and the toilets at the far end weren't there. I was working as an apprentice in an architect's office in Edinburgh who was responsible for bringing these buildings, the old Eagle buildings, back into Eagle buildings, that's what they were called, back into use. And at the very end, where the toilets are and all the bits underneath, that was actually a medieval house. And it was knocked down and built, and I designed the end building, not with melting pot in mind, but all those different bits. And the bit that looks like a chimney stack from the outside is in fact a lift. That was one of the things that I helped to do. So I was here before you, Claire, ha ha ha. 11 years ago, because we're talking about birthdays and the like, 11 years and 2 months ago, I was given this number, which is 92328. What do you think that is? That's my prison number, and it always will be. Now this number is 043426. That's the number of the charity we have, which was set up 4 years and 10 days ago, today. So that's all good. And then final note is coming up. We have breathe out. And then to finish off, run. Thank you very much. The final throwaway line, quite literally, is I found Steve's script. There you go.